Hello everyone. Here we go with News Roundup number 50. Oh dear, we Brits are getting so uptight about our lousy weather that an emergency summit is to be held, said the Daily Express. Experts will attempt to work out why Britain has been subjected to such volatile weather in recent years, with the Met Office hosting a workshop of scientists and meteorologists. Under discussion will be a series of unusual weather events, including last year's very wet summer and the recent cold spring. Met Office expert Professor Stephen Belcher said, "We have seen a run of unusual seasons in the UK and Northern Europe, such as the cold winter of 2010, last year's wet weather, and the cold spring this year. This may be nothing more than a run of natural variability, but there may be other factors impacting our weather." The Mirror tells us that a branch of the supermarket chain Tesco in Tiverton, Devon, has banned scantily clad women and shirtless men because their bellies were branded a health and safety risk. The company claims bare torsos could pose a health risk, as they could drip sweat on food. A spokesman said such decisions are taken at a store manager's discretion, and the move followed a string of complaints. Not sure those complaints would have been because of health and safety, probably more about aesthetic look. Never trust a sat-nav, that's what I say. According to The Sun, Bob and Pat Banks from Leeds, both in their 70s, were meant to drive to Spain via an ocean-going ferry. They followed sat-nav instructions, intending to get on board for a 20-hour sea trip from Plymouth on a 10-deck, 41,000-ton ship, but instead ended up on the 245-ton Torpoint ferry for a 6-minute, 650-metre trip across the River Tamar from Devon to Cornwall. By the time they had realised their mistake, their car was jammed in by others on the open-deck service. Bob said, "We were held up and got to Plymouth only 40 minutes before departure, so were relieved when our sat-nav announced we'd reached our destination. When the truth dawned, we had to accept the worst. I felt very embarrassed. I always have a map in my car. Always." It seems that women can get themselves in a right state over their hair, says a report in the Express. A poll has found that the female sex spend about 20 years of their lives miserable because of bad hair days. The survey, by Travelodge, revealed that 8 out of 10 say their feelings of self-worth, confidence and beauty depend on how their hair is looking. If it is messy and unruly, it can make them moody and depressed for more than 4 hours during the day. Shakila Ahmed, spokesman for the hotel chain, said, "Having unmanageable tresses can make a woman feel tired, grumpy and less confident." Oh, big sigh, get a life, you women, honestly. You couldn't make it up. The Daily Mirror says that some of the excuses put forward by people not paying their TV licence include, "Why would I need a licence for a TV I stole? Nobody knows I've got it." Well, they do now. And, "The only way I can afford to pay is if I sell my hamster. Is that what you want me to do?" Yes. Around 400,000 householders avoid paying their licence each year. One homeowner claimed their son of 3 should pay for it because only he watched TV. Another produced a document ripped in half as evidence to prove that they shared their licence with their next-door neighbour. A colour TV licence costs £145.50 per year. I wonder what they're all saying now they can't watch it for free online. Do we Brits have an inbuilt dislike for the French, or is it all a bit of a myth? Well, According to the Daily Telegraph, in a letter written by Admiral Lord Nelson in 1799, he called the French thieves, murderers, oppressors and infidels, and claimed he cannot hold faith with anyone in the nation. The 4-page letter was sold at an auction for £9,000 and was written after the Battle of the Nile, where Nelson defeated Napoleon's fleet off Egypt. He also attacked the French Republican system as a many-headed monster and said their problems would be resolved if they had a monarchy. Auctioneer Richard Davey of International Autograph Auctions said, "There has always been a rivalry between Britain and France, but Nelson was writing at a time when relationships between the two countries were at rock bottom. Please don't shoot the reporter or the person reading it out to you if you are French. I love France." Unbelievable. According to the Mirror, a government hotline dealing with the UFO sightings was shut down in the year reports trebled. According to newly released files, during 2000 to 2007, the Ministry of Defence received an average of 150 reports a year. But by November 2009, this had shot up to 520. But the ministry closed the service because it served no defence purpose. Apparently, UFOs were spotted near several major UK landmarks, including the Houses of Parliament, Stonehenge and Blackpool Pier. I suppose they're right. It doesn't have a defence purpose, does it? Because if we are invaded from outer space, there probably won't be much we can do about it. Anyway, there you go. News Roundup number 50. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.